6:43 the time. Pacific Wildlife Care Center rescues and rehabilitates wild animals from throughout San Luis Obispo County. Patty Pyburn is there right now in Morro Bay with a look inside. Hey, Patty.
Good morning, Randall and Sarah. I am here at the Wildlife Care Center, and Randall, it's an educational morning for me already. I've learned that there are 3 R's: rescue, rehabilitate, and release. Joining me is Dave Klinsman, the acting board president here for Pacific Wildlife Care Center. And you have been already a wealth of information, Dave, but tell us, for our viewers' sake, what you do here at the center.
Well, first of all, good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to Pacific Wildlife Care. Pacific Wildlife Care as an organization has been around for about 25 years now. We've been doing the facility of rescue, rehab, and release for that period of time, and we've only had the facility that you're visiting today, this morning, in play for the last 3.5 years. We're thrilled to have this facility because it really gives us the opportunity to do some really neat things. As an organization, we're completely funded and supported by membership and donations primarily, with some grants and funding coming from major sources for very special projects and what have you that we have.
And you have some volunteers here. I've met some of them who are bringing a very high level of expertise to the center as well, because you only have one paid position.
That's correct, and that position actually split amongst about 6 to 8 very dedicated experts that we have come in on a day-to-day basis. The center here is open 7 days a week, 8 in the morning to 6 at night. So it's a pretty intense time. In fact, we have over 100 volunteers that work in the organization, covering a series of services that we provide, from phone volunteers to transporters to center workers we've talked about, as well as administrative staff that come in. Something like 1,200 to 1,500 hours a month are provided to us and donated to us by our dedicated team of volunteers.
So what are the typical kinds of cases that you handle here?
Gosh, everything. Our phone volunteers are on track this year to have about 1,800 different cases reported through our phone system. Of that, about 40 to 50% come into the center as cases that result in being admitted. The other calls are educational, which is another part of our mission. The rescue, release, and rehabilitate and release is one part of our mission. The other part of the mission that we have is to educate. And you'll be talking with volunteers about our education mission, but another part of that is our phone volunteers helping our public who call in with questions and issues and concerns and all kinds of things. So it's a very challenging position for the phone volunteers.
I recently had a run-in with a possum in my backyard, stuck in the fence, and I now know that I could have called you. I wasn't sure what to do. We got him out of the fence, and he took off and went on his way, but he may have needed some care. I just wasn't sure what to do. I've gone onto your website. You have a ton of information there for people to start answering their own questions, but then, of course, the volunteers you were talking about who do that as well. So you encourage people to access this information.
Absolutely. We've got the website gives people the opportunity to be able to go in and learn a little bit about what to do in the case of, and we also link to other rehabilitation organizations throughout the state who also are equally rich in terms of that kind of information. But in the case of your particular, for example, you could have called 543-WILD, W-I-L-D, which is 9453, and one of our phone volunteers would have picked up that call, and perhaps we would have had to have transport or bring somebody on the site to help you try and figure out what to do, and eventually perhaps even bring the animal into the center here for examination and recovery. All
right. One example of what you do here at Pacific Wildlife Care, and we have coming up this morning, we're going to meet some of the educational animals that the center uses to educate us about how we live compatibly with the wildlife, which is something that they definitely encourage, and when you should get involved and when you shouldn't. There are times when you should just let the animals work things out themselves. Sometimes we interject ourselves in situations where we're not needed. So Sarah and Randall, coming up this morning, lots more information and some very cool animals that we're going to be meeting a little bit later on.
All right, look.